Hello, I'm Dr. Moore, and I'll be your professor for the next 5 weeks of your persuasion class, COM 3155. And this is just an introduction to the class, so you get to know a little bit about what we're going to do and how things will operate in here. I will ask you to pause this for a moment and to open the syllabus, because that's where we'll start, and I'll talk about a few things out of the syllabus and the whole syllabus and a few other things. So if you'll do that now, that'd be great. All right, you got it? Okay. I use because I hate doing the screen stuff on there. It's just frustrating for me. But I have opened my As You Learn, and it looks like that, COM 3155, Persuasion. And I'll talk a little bit about what's on that page here for a minute before I start the syllabus. At the top of it, where it says Start Here, of course, is the syllabus. The thing right under that is how to make an appointment with me, followed by what are called Watch Me's. I'll do a weekly little video and sometimes an occasional extra one about some of the concepts that might be a little bit too much for one recording. For example, on persuasion fallacies, I do one specific one for that only. There are discussion forums, and followed by the PowerPoints, which are narrated, so it's like going to class and listen to old lady Moore give a lecture. Not really, but it takes the place of having to sit in class and talk about these materials in class. So they are narrated, followed by the actual assignments, paper assignments, tests. I'm in the wrong place. Tests. And you can't see all of that yet, where that little purple thing is, that's not visible to you yet. But so all the assignments are there on that page. If you'll look at the syllabus with me, you'll see at the top that it gives you my information, when to reach me, how to reach me. I'm good about talking on the phone. You can come in and meet me here in my office. I'd be happy to do FaceTime or Skype with you. Whatever you think might be most helpful to you. And I'm good about answering emails quickly, so if you need to reach me in some way, that will be good. You can email me and I answer quickly. The textbook is Persuasion and the Influence in American Life. It has 7th edition, and I noticed that I just got a brand new one. It doesn't matter which one you have. We're going to talk about the material that is in the 7th edition, but you should be able to be fine with the 7th edition or an earlier edition or a later edition, and the PowerPoints, because they follow the textbook. In the course, you're going to have 4 papers that you do for me. All right, you're going to have 4 tests. You'll have an advertising activity that is separate. You'll have 20 forum posts, 4 a week. First week 2, last week 2, because they're well, actually first week is 1 day, but we'll turn that into 2 days for the posts, and then 2 days to last week. But that totals 20, so they're worth 10 points a piece, and those will end up being 200 points for you. And then you'll do an analysis of a persuasive speech. And I give you some samples of that. You can see that on the As You Learn page already. You can already start looking and seeing which one you're going to want to analyze, or any one that you can find on your own too. It doesn't necessarily have to be ones that I provide. The main object of this class, the objectives, is to teach you more about how persuasion works in society and in advertising, because this is a required class of advertising majors. We have a lot of different majors that take this class as well. You might be a PR major, you might be a comm studies major. Some of you all might be minors, but how, we're going to look at how it functions in society, including some aspects of advertising. This is the writing designator class for the advertising major. So yes, there is writing that goes along with this. What we'll be doing with the material is the textbook material, each chapter of the textbook. And if you look at the weekly syllabus, which is at the end of the syllabus, the written syllabus, the weekly schedule will show you which chapters we'll be covering in what weeks. For example, the first week we're just going to do chapter 1, which is an overview, and then starting that it's not really starting the second week, but it's the second week because it starts the second week. You'll see that we're going to do 2 chapters there, and then we do 3 chapters the next week and 3 chapters the next week. 3 chapters the last week, and then some activities those last 2 days that take all of that and apply it to each to the material. As far as the breakdown of activities, you have the Watch Me's. You watch those once a week, or if I put in an extra one, you watch that one also. You'll have 4 tests. I will post those by midday on Thursday, and they will be due Sunday by 5 p.m. I know some of y'all are working jobs, so I make it a little bit longer there for you to do that. And I know a couple of y'all are in my other class, so you're going to have to budget your time so that you're able to do these easily. The questions on the test are taking information that you learn in the class and applying it to real world situations which you encounter. So you're gonna have 4 papers. They're already up. The descriptions are already up, but you have a little bit of time. I'm still working on the page, so the due dates are not exact on there yet. I have changed them from being due Mondays at midnight to being due, I believe I said Tuesdays at midnight, but I will go back and double check that, but so that you don't have a test due on Monday and a paper due, test due on Sunday and a paper due on Monday. I've moved it down a day. Make it a little easier on you to spread out the 2 things a week that are due. With summer school, it's so fast that you have to get those things in there. And again, it's a writing and discipline course, so we'll have to do that. There's an advertising activity that's already posted. You can already start to watch advertisements to look for some of these things. There'll be the daily discussion forum where I ask a question. I'll put that up by about 7 o'clock in the morning. And at 7 o'clock the next morning it comes down. So you need to keep up with it. This is not a class that you can wait till the last week of classes and say, oh, I'm going to play catch up now. Just can't do that. All right. And you will be asked to respond to 2 people. I will ask you to respond as decent human beings, not attacking people. I will take points off for those of you who are not able to persuade in a fashion that is more acceptable in public society, which means you're not attacking people, you're not name calling, which we see a lot going on in our society these days. So I want you to learn how to persuade people in a more effective manner. And then the last thing on that list is a persuasive speech analysis, where I have you watch speeches and analyze a public speech. We don't talk about that until later in the textbook, the actual persuasive speech making, but all of y'all have taken public speaking, so you know what that's about. All right. The grading scale is there on the syllabus, so you can see how I grade there. There is extra credit available. It's already up and posted. It's simple. You can earn up to 25 extra bonus points and for each portion of the questions. What I ask you to do is to take the slides in the PowerPoint and answer the questions that are asked in any of them that have a visual picture. So there'll be pictures, and with those slides, there's a question asked with that. You can answer those questions for extra credit. So there are some due times on that, and you can't just do that anytime you want. The first half needs to be done by a certain date, and the second half needs to be done by a certain date. But again, those points can make the difference between one grade and the next. So keep that in mind. A couple of miscellaneous issues. Some of you may be special needs learning assistance program, those kinds of things. And I will tell you that last year, and I've had to deal with this, I had someone who was in learning assistance and asked for extended time. I already give you 72 hours to do the test. So learning assistance program says, no, that's more than enough extended time. So, and I think you won't find that the questions are that hard to deal with. So, when you email me, I ask you to email me formally. One of the things we all hate is when we get we all meaning professors, hey, don't do that. That's very, it's like, you don't know me well enough to do, hey. There are a couple of you in the class who might be able to because you've been to Poland with me, but the rest of you, just say, good morning, Dr. Moore, good day, hello, Dr. Moore, Professor Moore, whatever. But let's not do the hey. It's too informal when you're trying to contact a person. It becomes part of how persuasive you are, because immediately when I get an email, it's go, hey, I've got this negative ethos of you already, which we'll talk more about ethos. You learned about it in public speaking, but we'll talk more about it in here. A couple of extra things about my teaching style. I love to teach. I have a good time. I try to make this more interesting because it is an online venue. And so I try to do some activities that make it a more positive situation for you in an online class. Try to build a little bit more community than you usually get in an online class. It's my hope at the end of the class that you'll know more about persuasion and how to persuade people better, and be able to apply that to whatever field you plan to go into. So the weekly syllabus is there also, spells it out. It's pretty extensive. It's a lot to do in 5 weeks, so just keep that in mind. I think most of y'all probably will enjoy doing some of these things. I try to choose forum questions that fit current events, what's going on. So you're going to get some questions. I guarantee you I will ask some questions about what's going on in society right now. The immigration issues, the election issues, a whole bunch of different things that are going on in our culture right now. So that is the class. I welcome you to ask me any other questions that you might have. I have pretty much the shell of the class up, so you can go look and see. If you've decided it's too much for you in 5 weeks, please go ahead and drop it, because I have people on the wait list that would be happy to have your seat. I don't want you to go. I think that you will be fine, but some people get a little intimidated when they see how much work is in that first 5-week session. So please let me know if you have any questions. There'll be a new one of these that goes up the first week of classes, which is next week. This is actually Tuesday, the 26th of June, and I will have another one up for the actual first week of classes for you at the start of classes. Please feel free to answer that first forum question. I look forward to learning more about you and who you are and why you want to learn more about persuasion. And I will hopefully talk to you soon. Bye now.